Hello and welcome to this short presentation on agents and business skills. So let's get started with hey, what are these business skills with a short introduction and overview of them. So if you have a look at Microsoft Learn, then you will find the sentence that business skills are natural language instructions that capture how your organization gets work done. Well, that's super generic, does not really help much. But if you dig a bit deeper, then you will find this GitHub site here that includes a couple of examples. Yeah, for example, hey, how to do an expense report entry, how to do a forecast. Yeah, and they give you an idea what these business skills look like and how the code also looks behind the scenes and what you can use them for. Yeah? So these kind of examples, they can be downloaded and you can import them in your environment, uh, which gives you really a hands-on starting point to make use of them. But the question is still, hey, when do we use them? Well, here are a couple of points. So if you have multiple agents, multiple people working on similar things and always need the kind of same procedure or step, then you can reuse these skills. Also, you kind of get consistent outputs across the different people who work on agents, because the instructions are the same, and if people always refer to the same skill, you get similar, not identical, but similar outcomes. Then, if rules change often, then you do not want to always update your instructions of your agent, but you want to have a place where you can make a once update and then get it deployed across all of your agents. Also, role-based access control, that's something that is important. Then you can make use of that. Also ALM, because these business skills, they travel with your solutions across your environment, so that might be something important. And from my perspective also, if the instruction body is too long or too complex, or the context window is too small, then this might be a good tool that helps you a lot in how you get work done. So now, next, let's have a look at a couple of examples. And of course, I do not want to do that on slides, but in my demo machine. So let's quickly change and have a look. Okay, so I'm here in the Microsoft Learn site about business skills. That's what I refer to if you want to find it. And here is the site that I also mentioned about the different skills. And here, if you just scroll down a bit, you will see what are these skills. And actually, if you look at the code, then you will see how they are made of. So it's really a bit of markdown language that is used, but the good thing is that you can import that, so you can use these skills, basically download them and import them into Dataverse. Yeah, how does that look like? Well, I created here this business skill table that's basically coming with the import, and then you can see here is the name, here's the description, and here is this long body that tells the system what to do. Yeah, and now let us try to use it. Yeah. So what did I do? I have here a Copilot Studio agent, and I said, hey, with this skill we can process travel expenses, for example. So what are you doing? I can say, hey, please process my travel expense um, as attached. And then I upload a file. Can be I don't know, a taxi. I had a taxi or bus ticket or something. Maybe this one. I attach it and then I say, hey, off you go. And then it will try to analyze the file, go through all the steps, try to find this business skill, and then ultimately put it into Dataverse, or in my case, project operations. So that's what I did before for a bus ticket. Yeah. So it extracted all, it finds the correct expense category, it submits the things if you do it like this, yeah, and then you have your expenses recorded there. Of course, it will take a while, yeah, until this processes, because this business skill has a lot of instructions, it has different limits where people need to approve and so on. So we let this run, and then Come back maybe later and see whether this was processed or not. Now, this is something you can do with Dynamics systems most of the time, but in case you are not using Dynamics, so this does not mean that you cannot use these business skills at all. And let us switch into a different environment. Yeah, so I was currently in this Dynamics environment. Now let us switch into another one. I call it Luke Sky. I also imported the business skills again, but then I added some. I extended this a bit. How did I do that? Well, you just create an app out of that, and in this app you can define your skills as you need them. So let's quickly open this app that I created. So I have here, let's try to go back. I have here a first and second business skill, where I say, hey, do this, do this, do this. But let us have a look at how they look like. So here you can create new ones. And that's what I did here. What I did was here the first business skill, where I said, hey, open Wikipedia, make a search for Microsoft, and then send a short summary to this email. So let us give this a quick try and see how it goes to. And for that, I have here a second agent. And to make it easy, you just I just added here the some starting prompts. First and second business skill. Of course, you should be more precise how you do it. But for my demo, I just say, hey, here execute this first business skill, which says, hey, go to Wikipedia, make a short summary, and then send it by mail. And then you will see that this tool goes through step by step and executes the different steps as it can. So also let's wait here for a moment. But before we have a look at the other example, let us have a look at my second skill, because that's a bit more a bit more difficult. So what I want to do here is I want to open a website about the gold price and then the silver price. And then in the third step, I want to calculate the ratio between gold and silver price. And once this is done, then I want to open here an Excel file with this name on OneDrive. I have this on OneDrive, and I want that this information is included, the gold, the silver price, and then this ratio. And once it's finished, then I want to send out an email to this user. Also, this is basically a very simplified business skill. So it's not like the one we used before with the expense entry, where you can really see, hey, there are a lot of complex steps. I rather try to test something super easy. And let us have a look at this one once the first business skill processing is hopefully finished. So here it says, hey, it's finished. Then we should receive an email. Let's see if the email arrived. Might take a bit until it arrives. And then let's see if we get a summary of our Microsoft here in this case. So you see, hey, here's a summary from Wikipedia, blah, blah, blah. And this was done basically from Copilot Studio with the help of this business skill. So really nice, and you can really incorporate a very nice kind of workflow that we have here. But now let's try the other one. And here you will see something where you have to be super careful, because in the second skill, we want to reach out to public websites. Yeah. And in these websites, I tested this a couple of times. Sometimes they block scraping by agents. And if that happens, then these agents will typically refer back to their own knowledge, so to say, and then might use outdated prices. So now it tries to go here to this gold.de website, extract the information, but sometimes it cannot. And then you will see what is the outcome and how the file will ultimately look like. And then, if you know the current gold and silver prices, you will quickly see that the information that is updated in the Excel file might be wrong. So this is something you have to be super careful with. If you just give instructions, the agent is doing its best what is included in the instruction, but then it kind of is blocked by doing something, then you might see that the information is basically wrong. And let me, while this is running, let us quickly go here to show you an example. Yeah, from my previous run. So here, the gold price is around $4,600. Yeah, that's the correct price. This is the correct silver price, and then we have this ratio here. Yeah, but you see here, sometimes it finds these prices, yeah, or this price here, yeah, and these are prices that were used at a time when the model was trained. Yeah? And it really depends on whether the website that you use block agents or not. Yeah, in our case, it seems that things worked, but I had a couple of test runs where it says, "Hey, this website blocked me." Maybe because I did too many test runs, maybe it was not allowed temporarily or something. And then you really need someone to double check whether this is really correct or not. So that's something important. And this is the basically these business skills that I wanted to share. And as an alternative, as an alternative to this one, where you go and say, "Hey, I have a gold price, I have the silver price updated," and if you're blocked, then do your best. I have here another agent, but this agent basically, let us have a look at this, how it works. It basically uses workflows. So I say, "Hey, first thing, extract the gold and silver price using computer use." Why? Because with computer use, you just take a snippet of a website, and this is not directly blocked by website configurations or something. Then I run here a flow, and this flow is actually doing nothing else than taking the information from here and consistently putting it into this Excel, and then it sends out an email. So the idea of this one is identical to the business case that we saw before, but it uses here a workflow instead of simple instructions in a business skill that we used before. Yeah. So let's try this one. And I said here, just use, let's do a new run. Let's do a new run. Use gold as the trigger word to keep it very simple. And then it starts computer use, uses then here this flow, and updates also the same table that I used here. So the key message is, once you use business skills and allow the AI model to execute steps by its own, then you have to be very careful how things are extracted and how things are done. While if you do it with flows here, yeah, then things are really consistent and easier to follow up. But it depends on your use case and what you try to achieve. Okay, so at the end, let us have a quick look at my expense and whether it got processed. So if we refresh this here, so you see there is here a taxi drive from Veitshöchheim to Würzburg. This is the net price. There is some tax included, mileage. So all of this got processed by the means of this business skill, and this is really pretty good, pretty amazing, yeah, and a very good and nice use case how you can use this thing. Okay, so that's it. Now let us go back to our PowerPoint for some close. So at the end, a couple of pitfalls that I wanted to list here. So if you use these business skills, um, be careful how you use them, especially if you want to get information from the internet, because sometimes websites block agents and do not allow them to scrape the information. And if this happens, then the model might use its own old and outdated knowledge. For example, with prices, with the gold or silver price that we saw. So that's something important. The other thing is, you can think about, hey, when do we use workflows versus when do we use skills? And usually you use skills or business skills if you want the AI to decide how to execute something. So you're really flexible, you're really adaptive, so to say. But you use a workflow if you want to have a certain kind of guaranteed steps, yeah, so you really want to have step 1, step 2, step 3, one executed after the other without any adaptation or something, yeah? So also another thing that you have to be aware of, workflows they can resume, yeah. In a previous video I showed you how to capture failures, how to catch up things and continue workflows, but that might not be true for business skills and how agents execute them, yeah? So always keep that in mind. And well, that's it. Thanks a lot for watching and listening, and as usual, if you have questions, just feel free to reach out.